New pickups. Let's get started. Alright guys, so I want to just get right into this. So first game I'm going to tell you guys about is Mania. If you have played the games like a game like Until Dawn or Hidden Agenda, you know what you're getting into with this. This is a horror game where a group of friends actually go scuba diving, but they end up getting hijacked by pirates and pretty much taken captive. Now I felt the game was a little bit slower. I mean, I liked it. I beat the game and I felt it was kind of dragging at certain points, but what kept me going is I liked the characters. Conrad was really cool. Fliss, those were my two favorite characters in the game. But I also love a good bad guy, and as you can see in the footage here, Olsen I think is a really cool bad guy. I always like the bad guys that don't really say too much and just like they actions speak louder than words pretty much, and that's pretty much Olsen. From the beginning of the game, when he gets taunted, he has this look on his face like he's about to get some revenge on Conrad for disrespecting him, and it gets pretty crazy from there. But yeah, this game will cost you around $30. I think it's worth it. You can play multiplayer. Only thing I just wish is that it didn't have like these slow load times that kind of like drag on. But I think it's definitely something you guys be interested in. You know, but yeah, good for $30 is a good thrill. You know, get a couple hours out of this game. Has a lot of replay value, different endings and all that stuff. But what I'm going to show you now is the footage of Olsen, and just I don't know, man. I just love this guy as a main antagonist, and you got to hear how he talks.
Bring them downstairs. Take this. Use it if you have to. Which one of you is gonna tell me about this Manchurian goo? Manchurian goo. Manchurian goo.
Alright guys, so next up we have Spectacle vs. Generation. This is a 2D fighting game. This reminds you, if you play it now, reminds you of old school SNK fighting games in a way. It wasn't really well known in Japan or Europe, I believe. I found out about this game by chance thanks to my buddy John Houston. Good looking out, bro. Yeah, just a really what I would call a hidden gem fighting game. Now the PSP version is region free, so I would recommend getting the PSP version. You can find the English or Japanese version like I'm showing you here. If you get the game on PS2, the system is region locked, so unless you have a PAL PS2 or a Japanese PS2, you won't really be able to play it unless you have a modded system to where you have access to playing it pretty much all regions. But I just thought it'd be simpler for people to get this version right here. And the next game here is Mickey's Wild Adventure. This is Mickey Mania, but I don't know why they changed the name for it for the PlayStation version of this game, but it's the same game, but this is the best version of that game. Really, it's like a mesh of all Mickey's cartoon adventures. Like first they start with Steamboat Willie in the beginning, and that's a really cool looking level, especially for back in the day when this game first came out. Really fun game. I don't know if it'll be for everybody, but it is a platform game that I think people might be interested in. You know, if you like simple platform games, definitely check this out. I know a lot of people are all about Mickey, so and it's funny how Mickey has this mean look on his face, like a mean smile kind of a way. I noticed, I never seen that on Disney titles itself, but like on video games and stuff, they like have them like this, where it's kind of like a evil smirk look, I guess. Like it's just funny. But anyways, guys, check this one out. This is the import version of it. Like I said, if you have access to playing like import games on your system, this is an easy one to import. Alright, so next up we have It'll Do Part 2. I recently found out about this game, and they were telling me it was kind of like pretty much like a Zelda clone, so I said, you know, let me take a look at it. And I looked at some gameplay of it. It seemed pretty interesting. Had some good boss fights in the game later on in the game. So I said, okay, that'd be something I'd be interested in getting. So I went to GameStop and I picked this one up. And my GameStop had it complete with everything in it. Has the map and the manual, of course. But then I found out at the same time that the game had got delisted, so a lot of people were looking for it at the time. But I think that's just a temporary thing. It's going to get relisted as the download and everything. But when it happened, everybody wanted it all of a sudden. So I was like, okay, wow. So happy I found a copy of it. Let me know what you guys think about this game. Next game we have is Elemental Gearbolt. This is a rail shooter game that came out on the PS1 back in the day. This is the Japanese version. The American version was made by Working Designs, published by Working Designs, and they changed the game up quite a not too much, but they changed it up to where the game was a little bit harder. I guess the Japanese version was easier. I saw this one for cheap, so I picked it up. I wanted to see how the differences were between them, but this game was like a love letter to fans with the people that came together and made this game. So definitely let me know what you guys think about this game if you played it. If you guys have played a game called Project Horned Owl for the PlayStation 1, which I know that's a weird name. I believe that these are the same creators that made that game. So yeah, let me know. And next up here we have Lost Planet 3. Now I'm showing all the Lost Planet games. I just got them all, but I want to talk about Part 3 personally, because Part 3 is a prequel to the other two games. It's made by Capcom, licensed another company to make it. The company is on here. They're called Spark, and unfortunately they went under. But I think they made a really solid game here. This game really pulled me in. How the presentation, the way the story was being told. The story is told from a man that's injured. He's stuck, and he's kind of reflecting over his life to his granddaughter. And the way the acting and scene is just really beautifully done. It just really pulls you in the story. And the gameplay is a lot of fun. I noticed some frame drops here and there, but I didn't mind. And I was just enjoying the game. Just the whole thing about being on another planet and trying to survive and popularize and everything just really kind of intrigues me and everything. So I just really took like high interest in this game. And also you get into mechs in the game when you're going around the planet and everything, when you fight off enemies and things like that, and you fight off enemies on foot as well. You get a lot of different weapons and everything. But I just thought the way this game was, the story was told in this game was just really good. This is a high production game. Unfortunately, it was not. I don't know if it didn't sell well, of course, and that's probably why Spark went under. But definitely, if this is the last Lost Planet game we'll get, it's definitely, I think, is a gem. Alright guys, so next up here is Horizon Chase Turbo. This is the PS4 version. I already had the Switch version, but I like to support these guys, man. This game really brought, for me, a breath of fresh air to arcade racing games. So I saw this at GameStop. I picked it up. Definitely, I prefer to have it on the PS4 as that's my main console. If you haven't played Horizon Chase Turbo yet, you guys need to get on it, man. This game is a lot of fun. It pretty much it really reminds me of Outrun Coast to Coast. Any of the Outrun games, it's kind of like a throwback to those games. Maybe a little bit of Top Gear as well. Of course, Top Gear with Barry Leach doing the soundtrack for the game. So, like I said, if you like arcade racing games, definitely pick this one up. If you find it at GameStop, which I got lucky and found it, they're only gonna have one copy, unless it's maybe like a prestige store. They might have 2 copies or whatnot, but I noticed a lot of companies aren't really pushing out PS4 like lower price games out anymore. I mean, they'll push them out on the Switch, but not really on the PS4. Next game here is good old Remmy Laura. Yeah, Remmy Laura was finally released on the PS4. When this game first came out, I wanted the PS4 version, but they pretty much went silent on it. They only were releasing the Switch version, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. People were trying to find out information on Twitter, what's going on with it. They were just very quiet about it. I was like, people were like, that's messed up, man. Like, we support you guys. You're not going to give us any information. And come to find out, I found out by chance that it was released exclusively on the Nicholas store as kind of like a limited product on there. So I picked up a copy, and I didn't really see them put out any much advertisement for it, that it was out for the PS4 on their website. I mean, I think they put out a tweet for it, which, but still, man, I'm just happy to have this version of it. I think they need to promote their products better. But anyways, I've talked about Remmy Laura on the channel before. You've seen the Switch version, the Switch somewhat review I did, gameplay video I did, and I brought it in the Metal Jesus video. So if you like dungeon crawlers, I would call this more of a sky crawler, since you're like in the sky. It's like a beautiful sky looking down. It's like a beat 'em up, and it's actually really fun, guys. But what I recommend, if you play this game, turn the volume down on the girl, because she makes some weird sounds, man. It's like, dude, you got to turn it down, because somebody see you playing this game, they hear how she's something like, what are you doing, man? Some kind of flick going on, skin flick. All right, anyways, guys, next game here Cyberia Delta. Cyberia Delta I got on the Switch too, but I found a PS4 version at GameStop, luckily. And the Cyberia series has been out for years. It's more of, I would say, one of the first, not first, but you know, it's definitely a pioneer of bullet hell type shooters out there. But this game plays a little bit different at the same time. You get to reflect. You can kind of dodge bullets with the reflect button, like your ship spins and everything. You could dodge some of the bullets that way. There's a screen on your right hand side that kind of shows you a close up of your ship, how it looks and everything. But you cannot really take your eyes off the screen with this game because there's so much stuff going on. You have to keep your eyes glued to the main screen. But for a $30 game, it's definitely something I think a lot of you guys, especially if you like shoot 'em ups, because we know shoot 'em ups are a niche genre. Something you want to pick up as a physical, go for it. Alright guys, so next up I have Bambrace Cold Soul. This was gifted to me by Devil Espresso Games. They're actually the makers of a game I've talked about on my channel a lot called The Coma, a survival horror game. Also available on the PS4 and the Switch as a physical. Mainly you can get it easily on the Switch as a physical right now. It's pretty much on the cheap. But this game, it seems like it looks in the same style, but it's like more of an RPG from back in medieval times. I haven't played it, only played a little bit of the intro so far, so I can't really tell you too much about it. But these are the type of games, especially when I'm seeing from it, that deserve a physical release. You know, I've seen the part where it has the voice acting, added voice acting to it, and then some of the rest of the game, like you have to read text and everything like that. But seems like an interesting game. But you guys let me know what you think of this one. Of course, good old Metal Wolf Chaos. I picked up the GameStop copy of this game. I know another company that put it out was putting out editions of this game that had the manual for it, but I didn't feel like doing the whole online order thing. I mean, if a local store has it, I was going for it. At least they did us the service of putting something in this groove right here. So if you haven't played Metal Wolf Chaos, it's more like an action adventure, crazy shooter where you get in a mech and you're the president of the United States going against the vice president. So it's like there's a war going on in America, and it has pretty funny Canadian voice acting, and it's great. It's a great game, guys. So at least if it's not great, it's definitely like a fun arcadey type game that you can get into. But this game actually came out for the Xbox back in the day, but the problem with that version was, and Jason was telling me about it as well, is that you could play the game, but it was hard to upgrade your weapons because all of it was in Japanese, so you didn't know how to figure out what weapons you needed to use, so or upgrade or whatnot, what was better suited for your playstyle. But anyways, cool that this game finally got a physical release in America, and you can pick it up at your local game store. Pretty sure it was only exclusive at GameStop. I want to say, yeah, exclusive to GameStop stores, but I guess you can find it online as well too. And the last game I'm going to tell you guys about, talked about this game before, but that whole issue with Nicholas, like putting certain games only on their website. Another one was Crystal Crisis. Crystal Crisis is a fun puzzle game. Plays like Super Puzzle Fighter, but this game is a lot harder. And I remember I was playing one night, and I was on the last boss, and I didn't think I was going to win, but I finally got through it. I'll show you a little bit of that footage in a bit. But just be aware this game's only available on their site, and I've seen people try to sell it on eBay for like double, triple the price. So a lot of people are not aware that it was being sold on their site still. So make sure if you're going after these games, at least the ones from Nicholas, check their website first. But that's all I got for you guys, man. Thanks for watching another video. I'm trying to knock all these out so I can get all these games off the floor here. Radical Reggie, and I will see you guys later. I need one more. Come on, he's hurt bad. Come on. No! Yeah. Almost had it. Okay. Alright, we know what to do here. Blue's gonna go here, boom. That takes care of that. Yellow, stay here. Green, of course, right there, boom. And red will stay right there. Yeah! 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 We did it!